Hey, Awaken friends, Chris here, and welcome to your flow. It is a glorious day in the Whitsundays. I'm on a Carnival Cruise ship here with my kids and family, and I thought while it's early in the morning to come and roll out the mat and to create a flow on a cruise ship. I haven't done one of these before, normally on dry land, but why not? It's something fun. This flow you don't need any props for, just yourself, your space, your mat, or your floor, wherever you can take a moment for yourself. This will be a nice all levels flow, just bringing some nice dynamic movement in to help you along your day. I'll make it a bit water themed, seeing as we're around water. But to start with, can you please come to a hero's pose, sitting back. If this is uncomfortable, please bring your bum down to the floor and you can cross your legs. Otherwise, sitting in hero's pose, we're going to just center into our breath. Starting to bring an inhale and an exhale through, a little bit of awareness to it to begin with. Don't worry about bringing it through your nose or your mouth just yet. We'll get to that. But just focus on how it's moving and how it's connecting to you. And as you're starting to bring that through, let's just slowly start to move that in through the nose and out through the nose. Letting that breath start to lengthen. And just center us into this space, bringing our attention out of wherever it is around us into our bodies and into ourselves as it starts to connect in. And then with our hands in our lap, as we finish our next exhale, let's bring our hands up with us on the next inhale, moving above, fingertips touch. And then exhale, bringing them down through heart center in a nice prayer position. Thumbs press into our heart space. And exhale, opening up into our lap. Inhale, hands moving up to the sky, fingertips touch. And exhale, slowly coming down. Maybe your thumbs graze past your nose, your lips, your mouth, your chin, and into your heart center. And opening back up. And inhale, really big and wide with those hands. Gaze may follow for a gentle heart opening. And exhale, bringing that nice energy of the day down and centering into our body. I didn't say it before, but if you don't already like and subscribe to this, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. I should say that earlier in the class, but do that so you can see more of these classes, our playlists, our warm-ups, our cooldowns, and many other flows. As we come back to center, just closing the eyes, and taking a nice deep centering inhale. And exhale, let it all go. Hands down to the top of the mat. We'll bring our knees underneath our hips. And we'll move ourselves into a nice tabletop position, centering in, dialing into this space, giving us a nice connected moment. And we'll bring ourselves through a cat-cow, which is pretty typical for the way I start any class. Nice open collarbones, and then rounding and doming that spine, really articulating your spine as you bring it all the way through. Your gaze is moving towards the back of your mat. And inhale, bring your gaze forward and through, lifting yourself up here, shoulders rolling back down the back, and exhale. Moving through your cow position or cat position now. Inhale, coming back, nice and open. That spine is getting some nice movement through it. And exhale, doming it back up. Now this inhale, moving around a little bit, adding a little bit of dynamic movement for yourself. What feels nice here, maybe moving over the wrist, maybe one way than the other, keeping it a little bit organic, keeping a bit of flow through it. Giving you the space to create something for yourself that helps you feel and dial into your body. Maybe the hips come back a little bit, and then you bring it forward. Whatever feels good to you. Coming back to center, can we turn our fingers to face the long edge of the mat, and then just roll around a little bit? We don't often put our hands in these positions on our day-to-day, so it's nice just to stretch the wrists in some nice and new and fun ways. And turning your fingers to point towards the back of the mat. And same deal. Maybe just starting to rock back and forward a little bit of pressure on the wrists, and then lifting the fingers up. Just giving a little bit of movement here. Coming back to center, bringing our knees wide to the edges of the mat, and bringing our tailbone down towards our heels, and then stretching forward for a nice child's pose. And really here in this nice introverted space, take a moment to set your intention for this class. What is it that you are searching for? What is it that you want to get out of this class? Is it some centering, letting things go, reducing some anxiety, moving stress away? Whatever it is that you want to cultivate in this class, set that intention now. And then come back up to our tabletop position, tuck our toes, and let's lift up into our downward facing dog. First dog of the day. It may be a lot more for you, but if it is your first, let's just pedal it out, keeping those knees nice and bent. If your calves or hamstrings are quite tight here, keeping the knees bent will preserve your spine. Just giving you a moment, giving your body some space to wake up a little bit and to understand where you're going to take it. Now coming to the balls of our feet, let's tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe all the way up to the top of the mat, keeping a gentle bend in our knees here just to preserve the lower back, and then just rocking around. Nice ragdoll. Just moving back and forth. And coming back to center, and then bending the knees quite deeply and rolling our spine. Vertebra by vertebra, rolling, rolling, rolling. As we come up to the stand, we arrive, putting those shoulders so the backs of the hands are almost facing each other, and then rolling them around so that the palms face to the front of your space. Will open up your shoulder blades, open up your spine, tailbones pointing down towards the ground, feeling strength through our feet, pulling up through those inner thighs, switch them on, and then we're in our Tadasana pose, our mountain pose, strongest of all. And inhale, bringing our hands up to the sky, fingertips touch, and exhale, hands come down through prayer, centering that breath, fingertips touch, just nestle into our heart center a little bit more and open up. Then inhale, hands go up to the sky. We're going to fold forward. Bring ourselves all the way down. Inhale, coming up. Our fingertips just pressing below our kneecaps for lengthening out the spine here. Coming back to that nice Tadasana spine where we were. And then exhale, coming down, maybe bending the knees a little bit more. Inhale, coming up with our fingertips on the ground. And then stepping back to a plank pose. If plank pose is a little bit strong for you, you can keep your knees down just to preserve our back and a bit too hard pressure through our shoulders. But if you're in plank with me, our heels are moving towards the back of the room. We're holding that in sort of strength, feeling it, and then ever so slowly bending our elbows and letting our elbows graze past our chest. We'll come all the way through Chaturanga to the ground. Untuck the toes, and we're going to press up very gently in the hands, but lifting up more so through our back into a cobra pose. And exhale, coming down. Maybe one ear to the floor. And then inhale, coming back up into our cobra pose. Gentle pressing through the hands, but maybe lift the hands this time. See what it's like and how much strength you're using through your back muscles. Exhale, hands down, and coming down, and maybe the other ear to the floor. Try not to squish a microphone while I do this. Inhale, coming up. Third time. Let's rise up into our cobra pose. And if you're feeling it, you can lengthen the arms rather. Not strengthen, we're strengthening anyway. And lifting up into an up dog. So our thighs are coming off the ground here. We're lifting our chest up. We're nice and open. And then exhale. If you're in up dog, we're going to roll over the toes. If you're down in cobra pose, you're going to press up through plank and hinge at the hips. And come back to downward facing dog. And take a nice centering breath. Down dog is going to be our space of rest for the rest of this class. So feel into it. You might have this nice bend in the knees, which keeps the back really nice and straight. Also feels good if you've got tight calves, just to help lengthen them out a little bit. And sometimes I get really tight calves, particularly my left side. And coming up to the balls of the feet, we're going to hop, skip, teleport, tiptoe, whatever you want, to the top of the mat. And inhale to halfway lift. Fingertips move up underneath the kneecaps and pressing out. And then exhale, fold forward down. And inhale, bending the knees and rolling that spine vertebra by vertebra. Roll it, roll it, roll it. And then hands will rise up with us up above our head. Gaze can follow. And this time can we cactus our hands, bring them down to 90 degrees on either side of the body. Then exhale and inhale, bringing the hands into a nice prayer position in front of us. And exhale, opening it back up into our Tadasana pose. Inhale, fingertips move up above us. And exhale, come straight down through prayer. Folding and hinging down as we fold all the way down. Inhale, coming up, fingertips onto the mat. Stepping back into our plank pose. Holding our plank pose for just a moment. Again, if this is too strong, you can bring the knees down just to preserve those shoulders. Wherever you're feeling that moment, wherever you're feeling it being a bit strong. Holding in our plank pose. Heels are moving towards the back of the room, and then we're ever so gracefully going to come down to the mat. Elbows just coming past our chest, hovering in chaturanga for just a moment where your elbows are almost at 90 degrees off the ground, and then arriving down to the ground. And again, we can come up into a cobra with just a gentle pressing up, or we can lift for the full extension up into up dog, thighs off the ground, and then rolling over the toes, and come back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And one more nice deep centering breath in. And let it all go. Coming up to the balls of the feet. Bending the knees. Hop, skip, teleport, tiptoe to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips move just below the kneecaps to help you lengthen out your back. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, bend of the knees, rolling that spine all the way up. Neck is last with your head, and then rolling our shoulders open at the top just to bring in that energy of the day. The sun's in my eyes, but last time I complained about the sun's being in my eyes. Inhale, fingertips up above the sky. Above, gaze goes up. And exhale, hands down. Yeah, last time I complained about the sun in my eyes, I got told by people that I should stop moaning about it because it was such beautiful weather here. And inhale, opening up. And from this wonderful Tadasana pose, we can feel this nice strength through our body. Let's take a nice inhale, fingertips up above, gaze moves up. Let's cactus our hands open to 90 degrees. And then inhale, bringing the hands forward and around us. And exhale, let's forward fold here. Hinging at the hips, nice bend in the knees, all the way down. Inhale, coming up, fingertips to floor. And this time you can step back or float back. And arriving into your plank pose. Or again, if your plank's too strong, knees down, wherever works for you. And hold here for a moment, and then ever so slowly coming down to the ground and pressing up into your up dog or into your cobra pose. And exhale, rolling over and arriving back into downward facing dog. And coming to the balls of the left foot, the right foot's going to float up to the sky. Right knee is going to bend, and like we dome the spine in our cat-cow, really dome and articulate that spine as we bring the right foot up towards the right thumb. It may take you a couple of times, but that's fine. However it works for you. Pivoting your left foot to 45 degrees, rise up into our warrior one. And then from holding in this nice, strong warrior one position, feeling the outer edge of our back foot really grounding into the mat and just having some attention and notice to where your right knee is tracking. Hopefully it's over your right ankle. And then bringing our hands forward. Let's just rhythmically flow with them back and then come back up. And then flow them down and back. Palms maybe facing the ground. I like to twist my hands around so that when they're up the top, the palms face each other. As we flow down, they're facing the ground and then they twist around so they continue to face the ground at the back. And inhale back up to the top. And exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot. Right foot moves back to left into our plank pose or into our modification. And then coming down to chaturanga. And if you came with me on the up dog, lifting up straight away into the up dog or moving through to your cobra pose. Whatever is your little connecting vinyasa of choice. Exhale, moving us back in downward facing dog. Coming to the ball of the right foot, left foot will float up to the sky. Left knee will move up through the chest, articulating that spine, tracking it up, holding, and then left toes to left thumb, right foot to 45 degrees as we rise up into our warrior one. And again, just adding some notice of the strength in the back right foot. Is the outer edge of that really pressing into the ground? Is your left knee tracking over your left ankle? And then bringing the hands through, can you move them this nice rhythmic movement? Coming back up. And connect into the breath here so this follows on an exhale. And then inhale, coming back up. And third time, moving through, hands moving down, and then flow it back up. And then hands come down to frame the left foot. Left foot moves back to right foot. Back into our nice plank position. And this time, can we bring our knees down? Our forearms will come down. We're going to bring our nose close to the ground. When we come up into our cobra, or into our up dog. And then rolling over the toes. And move back into our downward facing dog. And take a nice breath here. Nice centering moment. Coming to the ball of the left foot, right foot will float up to the sky. Right knee moves up into our chest. We'll bring this foot up to our right thumb. Left foot to 45 degrees, and let's rise up like the sunrise of this day. The energy spiking, and then hands moving forward like the rhythmic waves of water flowing all around me. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, flowing down. And really feel as you arrive here that your spine is still lengthened. We're not sort of caving in. We're keeping this nice length and strength. Inhale up. And exhale, flowing down. And remember the outer edge of that back left foot is really grounded into the ground. Inhale up. Hands frame the right foot back to left. Holding in our plank pose for a moment. And then ever so slowly coming down to the ground. Holding in chaturanga, so just off the ground. If you're coming into the up dog, or moving all the way down for your cobra. Pose. And lift up. And then meet me back in downward facing dog. And take a deep breath here. Nice inhale. Nice exhale. Coming to the ball of the right foot. Left foot will float up to the sky. Left knee will tiger curl up. Really curling through that spine. Left toes to left thumb. Right foot to 45 degrees and rising back up into our warrior one. Breathe here. Feel the outer edge of the foot grounding in. Ankle is underneath the knee and then flowing back. Like the waves flowing around, moving our energy out to sea, letting it all go, getting rid of all those bad vibes and just bringing in all the good vibes. Inhale up and exhale, flowing down. Last time, coming back up, feeling the outer edge of the foot grounding in, and hands come down to frame the left foot back to right, holding ourselves nice and strong here. The knees will come down, forearms will come down, and we're breathing up into our upward facing dog, and rolling over the toes, and back to downward facing dog. Take a nice centering breath here, into the balls of the feet, bringing our knees down to the edges of the mat, heels moving back, tailbone moving towards the heels, and we're coming down to a child's pose. And again, back into our introverted space. Let's just take a moment to connect back to our intention for the class. To connect to us, to let things go. Whatever your intention is, just hold that and give it some space. And coming back up, meeting me in a tabletop position. I'm going to tuck the toes and arrive back up in our downward facing dog. And moving to the ball of the left foot, right foot will float up to the sky. We're going to bring our right knee through our chest, right toes up to right thumb. Our back foot was going to pivot to 90 degrees this time. We're going to rise up and flow into our warrior one. And I'll fix this microphone cable along the way. And holding our warrior one, outer edge of the foot is grounding in. We've got our knee tracking over the ankle here. We're really breathing. We've got extension and length of our shoulders. Our hands are moving out from our shoulders. We can feel it here. And then flipping the front palm, I'm going to flow back to a reverse warrior. Gaze follows the hand, the elbow over moves, and then flow back. Bringing our elbow down to our knee. We're going to open up to a side angle position. So we get more of length, this nice line through the body. As we open, if you're used to going a little bit deeper in your hand and make it to the ground, perfectly fine. And inhale, moving back to our warrior two, flipping both palms, and let's extend the front leg as we move to a flying warrior. Gaze may move up, and exhale, coming open. Left hand moves around to right, hands down to the ground, right foot back to left, holding in our nice elevated plank position, and ever so slowly coming down to the ground, holding in chaturanga for just a moment, and moving up to up dog if that's it, or going through cobra. And exhale over the toes, move back to downward facing dog. Take a nice centering breath here. Coming to the ball of the right foot, left foot will float up to the sky, left knee will come up through the chest. Nice tiger curl, left toes to left thumb, right foot to 90 degrees. So we rise up into our warrior two. Take a breath here. Feel it for the outer edge of your right foot, really grounding into the ground. The length coming up and your shoulders with your hands moving out from them. Arms at parallel to the floor. So you really got this nice extension coming from your body. And now gaze just make sure that our left knee is tracking over our left ankle. Flipping the front palm, we're going to flow back into a warrior, reverse warrior. We're doing all our warrior sequence at the moment. Gaze follows the elbow or the front hand. And then exhale, moving forward, left elbow down to left knee as we open up into a side angle position. And feel the depth here, the nice long line. If your hand makes it to the ground, that's fine. It depends where you are and how open you are today. And flowing back up to our warrior two. Hold for a moment, then flip both palms and extend the front leg as we fly up into a flying warrior. Gaze may follow the fingers. And exhale, opening back up. Bring that energy of the day with us. Right hand comes around, frames the left foot back to right. And we hold here, but then we bring our knees down, forearms down, and breathe up into our upward facing dog. And exhale, move back to our downward facing dog. And take a nice deep centering breath. And bring our knees down to the ground. We're going to untuck the toes and sit back to a hero's pose. Just take a nice moment. Bring the energy of in. On the next inhale, our fingertips will raise above us. Fingertips touch. We're going to cactus our hands open. So we're really opening up our chest towards the sky. And inhale, bringing our hands into heart center. Back to heart. And opening up. Coming back to our down dog. And keep this flow building and moving. Then come to the ball of the left foot. Right foot will float up to the sky. Right knee will come up to our right thumb. Keeping our foot facing forward. Rising up into our crescent lunge. We may preserve ourselves with a nice bend in our back leg just to ensure that we don't have a curvature through the spine. We're not putting too much pressure on our lower back. Hold here. And then hands will come down to the ground. We're going to lower the left knee down. We're going to move to a lowered Anjaneyasana. Just to feel our length here. And we're going to bring our hands forward like we started. Just to move in. And exhale, hands back up. And this rhythmic flow of our palms following the ground, moving around with us. Flowing back for the second time. And coming up. And then flowing for the third time. Hands move down, following with us. And then inhale, back up. And then hands are going to frame the right foot. Right foot's going to move back. Tuck the toes so we're back in a downward facing dog. And then we're going to move to the outer edge of the right foot, inner edge of left foot. So we've kind of got our hands here, our hips moving to the side. And then we're going to step our left foot over and behind the right, twisting our feet to the back of the room, bringing our bum down to the ground with our left hand, which is now free. And then we're going to press ourselves up in this nice lifted position. Shoulders nice and open. And exhale, bring it down. And then inhale, lift it back up. Really feel that if this is a bit much for your shoulder, you can do it with just one leg on the ground, like an open side plank. And then inhale, lifts back up. And then rolling our hand back down to the ground, roll it around like a little monkey twirl, coming back, a little animal move, back into our downward facing dog. Okay, coming to the ball of the right foot, left foot will float up to the sky, left knee will come up, and rising all the way up, left toes to the front, keeping onto the ball of our foot, we're going to raise ourselves up into our crescent lunge, and hold here. Again, nice bend in the back leg will preserve your lower spine. Yes, bend in the left knee will preserve the lower spine. But holding here with a bit of strength, breathing through it. And exhale, hands will come down to the ground, framing the left foot, right knee will come down to the ground rather. We're going to rise up into our Ardha Anjaneyasana and breathe here. And hands moving forward in nice rhythmic movement. One time forward, second time up. And using the palms just to follow the ground, twisting them around at the back so they continue facing the ground, preserving our spine to keep it like that Tadasana spine where we started. And inhale, moving forward. And raising back up. And hands will come down to the ground. Left foot will move back to right, lifting up into our downward facing dog. Coming to the outer edge of the left foot, inner edge of the right. Stepping the right foot over and behind. So we're twisting around, bum down to the ground, almost to our heels, and then lift up. And exhale, coming down. And then kind of just bring this energy, bring the energy of the ocean, bring the energy of the day with you as we're flowing through and down. And third time through, lifting up, press it up. Feel the opening through your shoulder, your back, feel your glutes, everything activating here. And exhale down. Right hand to the top of the mat, rolling over like a nice little animal movement, nice animalistic movement, and arriving back into our center position. Moving the balls of the feet, knees will come down to the edge of the mat, heels moving back, or your tailbone moving back to your heels rather, and then forehead coming down to the ground. And take a nice centering breath here. Breathe in, find your space, come back into your movement, into your dynamic space. Breathe in, and then coming back up, bringing our knees together, sitting back so our tailbone is underneath. Let's take a nice centering breath back in our hero's pose. And that nice inhale that's been following us all the way around, moving in and out through the nose. Take a nice centering breath in through the nose and let it all go. Then inhale, bring the hands with us, flowing them up to the sky, fingertips touch. And then exhale, coming down, heart moving through our heart center, just pressing in a little bit firmly. And exhale, opening up to the front of the room. Rolling over onto our bum and coming back down to the ground. Let's just very slowly, fingers underneath the thighs, roll down, and then feet out to the edges of the mat and bring yourself into a nice centered space here. I'm going to do one of my favorite stretches to end. We'll only do a quick stretch because if you need more, you can find more on one of the other playlists. And then bringing our right knee up, left hand will grab the right knee, right hand comes up to the sky. We're going to move the right knee across the body, maybe tucking the toes behind, and then bringing the right hand down to the ground. So your gaze moves over the right fingers. But we're really preserving this by having the shoulder on the ground. If your shoulder's on the ground, it's wherever your right knee can go. If your toes are tucked behind the leg, it stops it floating in space, or it can come down to the ground, wherever feels comfortable for you. And coming back through center, tucking the right knee in, letting the right knee out, and doing the left knee, pulling it up and in, and then slowly moving it across body. Don't squish the microphone back as you go. Left hand moves across and gaze follows the left fingers. We want the left shoulder on the ground, and your right leg is extended. But with the left knee, if it's floating in space, the right hand is not pulling it to the ground. You just tuck the toes behind the knee. But if you can get the knee to the ground and everything's open, go for it. Whatever suits you. It's really funny trying to do a yoga class with my eyes shut for half the time because I've got the sun in my eyes. It keeps throwing me for my cues. It's been kind of fun, this class. I have a few cues being thrown off my rights and lefts when I've got nothing, no spatial reaction, just my feeling in my body. I'm not kind of used to that. And then coming back to center. And let's just take a moment for ourselves here in our Savasana. One of my favorite positions, a position I never used to do a lot of, but now I really love it at the end of each class. And stay here in Savasana for as long as you like, or until the next video comes on or ad comes on once I finish this class. But I want to thank you for taking the time to get onto your mat, for carving out some space for you, for finding an intention and flowing with it. I hope you found some nice energy moving through, and please let me know in the comments how you felt through this class. Thank you for coming and flowing with me on the spectacular Carnival ship in the amazing Whitsundays. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Namaste.